There's hundreds of travel sites, even our competitors. So you can be confident you're getting the right flight at the best price. Kayak. Search one and done.
Not running. Why am I not running? Because the DQ Summer Blizzard menu is only here for a few more weeks. With 7 great flavors, like new Sour Patch Kids and brown.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
All money managers might seem the same, but some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management.
Now you can make any morning of the week feel like the weekend with Jimmy Dean's Simple Scrambles, made fresh with 2 real eggs, sausage, and cheese, and ready in seconds.
Why don't you put a Sunday morning shine on tomorrow morning's breakfast?
When you're not able to smile, you become closed off. I felt withdrawn, alone.
Having to live with bad teeth for so long was extremely depressing. Now I know how happy I am.
There was all the feeling good about myself that I missed. I wish that I had gone to Aspen Dental on day 1 and not waited 3 years.
At Aspen Dental, we're all about yes. Like yes to flexible hours and payment options.
You look great.
You look great, too.
I just started using Carousel like a week ago. Me too.
Only Carousel starts improving the appearance of fungus-damaged toenails in just 1 week.
That's why we look so good.
Only 1 week. Only Carousel.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Hey, I set up the thermostat.
Oh, sweet! We're getting all digital with that thermostat. You deserve the sweet reward of a Diet Dr. Pepper.
That is sweet.
Is it hot in here, or is it just a little sweet?
It's definitely hot.
Well, that is odd.
Diet Dr. Pepper. It's the sweet one.
Payne thinks it makes the rules, but the rules just changed. New Icy Hot Lidocaine Dry Spray. Instant dry technology. No mess, no residue, fast-acting relief. Rise from pain. New Icy Hot Lidocaine Dry Spray.
Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
This is epic!
You're watching America's most trusted TV news network.
Okay, we've got a severe weather threat.
We are live on the ground. Right now, it's coming down.
The Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees under fair skies. Today, lots of sunshine. High 90. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear. Low 70. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 88. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, you are taking a live look in Morgan City, Louisiana at the flooding that is ongoing there. This is south and west of New Orleans, Louisiana. Breaking news right now. You are certainly able to see this is coming from us. It looks like the photographer of this video is in a car. Is that someone on the dock? Producers, help me out here. Do you see someone? No. Okay. We don't see anybody out there. Okay, that's certainly good. The winds right now in Morgan City are gusting at 56 miles an hour. Water has certainly overtaken a lot of the coastal areas of South Louisiana, and that's understandable because those winds are strong. Those winds have been sustained today at least at 42 miles an hour. That's what we're seeing right now in Morgan City, Louisiana. So it looks like our shot is going to be repositioned. So as that shot's being repositioned, let's get you to Bayou Vista, Louisiana, where crews are trying to clean up some of the debris that's already fallen down. Trees there covering portions of the roadway. Those DOTD workers are certainly doing their best to get these roads back open as people are trying to perhaps maneuver their way around some difficult roads right now. But if you can help it, do stay home because these conditions are not good right now. Let's show you this area in Lafourche Parish, Louisiana. More flooding here, and that's going to be the calling card of the storm. Not necessarily any sort of major wind damage. That's certainly a possibility, but this right here will certainly be a scene that we see across Louisiana, in portions of Mississippi, perhaps in portions of Alabama too, and northwest Florida as well. And right here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I'm meteorologist Tevin Wooten. Welcome back into the show. You are seeing comprehensive coverage of Tropical Storm Barry. You can only get this coverage right here on the Weather Channel. We have crews spread all across this storm to get you the latest information. So we've got gusty wind conditions here right now. Winds so far today topping right around 44 miles per hour. But in Mandeville, Louisiana, where Dave Malkoff is, the winds have been strong today, but so has that storm surge. Dave.
Yeah, Tevin, let me explain where we are. We are in Mandeville, as you said, St. Tammany Parish. If you think of New Orleans sitting right on Lake Pontchartrain, with Lake Pontchartrain right to the north of New Orleans, then you would take a giant roadway, the causeway that goes over the lake for 23 miles and then ends up right here on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. And look at it right behind me. You can see those wild waves just slamming into the coastline just a couple blocks away from me. And as those waves slam into the coastline and overtop the barriers that they have there, then it goes right into the neighborhood, and that's causing not only the neighborhood to flood, but also the storm drains to spill some water up here. So we are not getting very much rain at all, just a couple drops every once in a while. All we are seeing is this storm surge coming through. So people are dealing with this at this moment, with storm surge flooding happening right here in Mandeville. We'll send it back to you, Tevin.
Break and just let her know. Back. All right, Dave, thanks for that. What we're looking at right now, go ahead and look at some of this flooding here, or some ponding that we've got on the roadway. You can come right over here. Cars are coming through. Winds are still picking up again, and that's expected as this storm progresses more and more and more. We wanted to get you an update from Hancock County, Mississippi. We've got Brian Adam. He is the EMA director there for us in Hancock County. Brian, thanks for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And for those who are not familiar, could you kind of catch us up to speed with what you all are dealing with, perhaps in the Bay St. Louis area?
We're having quite a bit of street flooding. We've had this morning, at 2:30 this morning, we had about 179 streets that was flooded, and at 6 a.m. we had 287 streets that flooded, and 90% of that was impassable. The tide has started to drop some. It's starting to, actually it's 3.36 and dropping. We're going to be making another check within an hour to see exactly how many streets are still flooded.
And how difficult is it to manage the street flooding and close off some of those roadways when you're having to respond to that in the middle of Tropical Storm Barry?
It's not been too difficult this time. Our citizens are certainly working very well with us and staying out of the area, and it makes it a lot easier on us to deal with that.
And Brian, your plan of action going throughout the next few hours as this storm is still as it just made landfall and still progressing inland and bringing more rainfall with it?
We're going to continue to monitor it. We've been fortunate on the rainfall so far, but we're going to continue to monitor the flooding due to the surge coming in, and then if we have more rain, heavy rains, then we're going to continue to monitor that also.
Brian, we've got about 15 seconds. For people that think they can go out in this storm and kind of do their normal routine, what do you say to them?
I say stay in. Let the roads go down before you go out. We would rather you be safe than drown. And a lot of these areas are deep, and we need them to stay in and respect the fact that you can't go anywhere when the water's that high.
All right, that is Brian Adam. Thanks for joining us. He is the Emergency Management Director in Hancock County, Mississippi. Brian, we certainly wish you the best of luck in the coming hours and days as we deal with a dangerous storm here. Tropical Storm Barry is its name, but rain, that will be the name of the game for a lot of people in inland flooding too. So though the winds may not be the strongest for you, we are seeing some strong winds here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We will also see some 9 to 12 inches of rainfall. That forecast breakdown coming up next.
Don't miss your golden opportunity to experience the luxury you desire on a full line of utility vehicles at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event.
Lease the 2019 RX 350 for $389 a month for 36 months, and we'll make your first month's payment.
Experience amazing.
I switched from Dodge.
We switched from Ford.
I switched from Ram. I switched to Chevy.
We switched to Chevy. We switched to Chevy.
For dependability.
For these guys.
And just look at it.
We switched to Chevy.
See for yourself why people are switching at the Chevy All-Star Open House. Get 20% below MSRP on all 2019 Silverado double cab pickups. That's over $97.50 on this Silverado. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
So Kim, you going for a big Drive Safe and Save discount?
Yep, using the app, I've been quite vigilant.
Sharon says step on it, the meeting started.
Okay, write her back. Dear Sharon, don't mess with my discount.
Faster, Mommy, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I do too, honey, but we're gonna hold it for Mommy's discount. Easy.
But you're in labor.
Don't mess with my discount!
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save from State Farm.
How pure can pure be? Our 12-step process provides 100% pure quality water. Look for kids packs from Nestle Pure Life. Fun designs and a perfect size just for your kids.
This is not just a headache. This is not just a fever. This is not just the flu. It's meningitis B, and you're not there to help. While meningitis B is uncommon, once symptoms appear, they can progress quickly and can be fatal, sometimes within 24 hours. Before you send your teen to college, make sure you help protect them. Talk to your teen's doctor about meningitis B vaccination.
Anna, did you make 2 identical purchases of $104 at Cotton Cloth?
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong and helps you fix them. Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet?
Not even our competitor's best battery can match the power of Energizer, because Energizer Ultimate Lithium is the longest-lasting AA battery in the world. Energizer, backed by science, matched by no one.
Norwegian's Free at Sea lets you choose up to 5 free offers, like free unlimited open bar, free shore excursions, friends and family sail free, and more. Your next vacay awaits from just $1.99. Norwegian Cruise Line. Feel free.
When I am helping a customer, I need to treat everybody the way I would want them to treat my family. I want them to know that I really want to help you. That's what I'm here for.
Fixed right, priced right, right on time. The triple promise, only at Firestone Complete Auto Care.
We've already seen those winds gusting over 50 miles an hour.
The bad weather, the heavy rain, and the wind spread far and wide.
All right, right, folks, that's from some of the sights and sounds, very early sights and sounds of Tropical Storm Barry. It was once Hurricane Barry, and now we're back down to tropical storm status, but still a mighty storm nonetheless. Winds at 70 miles an hour right now with this storm. But by far, a lot of people, unfortunately, will have to take a devastating blow, perhaps from the rainfall and inland flood threat we will see with this storm. Some of the highest rainfall amounts, potentially a foot to a foot and a half of rain. One of the areas likely to see a lot of rainfall in the coming hours and days, that's going to be Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But let's take you to Bayou Vista, Louisiana, where they're actually seeing some white capping right on top of the water here. We're looking at as some of that rainfall came through. The winds pick up and storm surge as well. A lot of factors working together to create a scene like this. This is actually not white caps. This is going to be some of the whiteout conditions, though, if you will, or at least reduce visibility from the heavy rainfall and the blowing wind. Some of the birds flocking away right there as that car makes its way through. Maybe even some bent signs right there. Highway 90 is where this is. But as those winds come through, they not only knock down some signs, but also some tree branches and leaves and limbs as well. But here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, this is usually a happening place around town. Not a lot happening today in terms of the people. Everyone sort of locked up and staying away indoors right now to get away from this rainfall and the high winds here. Let's go to this tree. This is something that I noticed earlier. This tree, certainly not the strongest. You can see maybe some Mardi Gras beads tossed around in this tree, but also as the winds pick up, you can tell from which direction the winds are blowing. It's almost blowing this tree over a little bit here or there. Certainly, again, one of the smaller trees. We've already had large trees down in Baton Rouge Parish, or East Baton Rouge Parish. Unfortunately, that may be a more familiar scene as we go throughout the coming hours here. Let's go to Mandeville, Louisiana with Dave Malkoff. Dave.
Hey, Tevin, the water is still rising here, pushed by that storm surge, those huge waves pushing off the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. So all of this water has been building in the last few hours, and it is still going up. And Jody, I'm walking very carefully over to you because you've
coming out here. So.
You've got these little boots on here,
yes.
But I've got waders up to here. Yeah. But tell me about living here. Tell me about this storm surge that's pushed in.
We get this every time, but you know the surge just comes over. It comes up. It goes back. Then it rains some more wind comes in, and it comes up. But this was surprising when I got up this morning, and it's definitely come up further. I don't think we've ever seen it go that way so much. It's turned. It usually stops about right here. We're on a lower side here. I don't know if you've seen the rest of Old Mandeville, but it's the surge. It just comes over the lake, and the more it rains, like it just did a bunch of rain came through, and here it comes. So we get nervous. What's underneath your home?
Yeah, you see those giant waves. Let's talk about underneath your home. As Russ pulls out, you can actually see this is a home that you've lived in for 6 years. Right. It looks to me like a fortress. It looks like the I've looked at the National Hurricane Center before. And it looks like that. Yeah.
It's 6 years, and most of us they're built to foolproof that. You know, they're strong and dug a big hole when they built it, which I didn't understand. But there still are some homes that are ground level, and they get the burden from it. So
the home is hurricane strong, and so are you.
Oh, well, thank you. Do your best.
Thank you so much, Jody. Yeah, well, we're
look
just
look out for gators.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
Look out for gators. Carl, I didn't know that gators were a problem.
Yes, they certainly are. Watch yourself, Dave. All right, let's take a look at the latest on our storm. A 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm right now. It is moving very slowly. That is the key to all of this. Now moving to the northwest at 6 miles per hour, and the weather is really starting to come onshore now in southern parts of Louisiana. Let's take a look at the radar. I want to show you the trend over the last 6 hours, and you can see how things have really started to change right now near the center of that storm. We're seeing more of the rain that had been offshore starting to move onshore, so the beginnings of a real uptick in rain intensity in southeast Louisiana. And you also see this band that is now driving into parts of Alabama, and there is now a flash flood warning for Baldwin, Escambia, Mobile counties until 6:30, and the rainfall rates here as high as 2 to 3 inches per hour. We'll have more on that coming up.
This has potassium. the same amount as this. It's a post-workout snack you don't have to peel. V8. The V is for vegetables. Drink some.
Everybody has a visor in their car, but a visor in the wrong place can actually make it harder to see. Nick Bolton here with the latest from Bell & Howell. We call it TAC Visor. Inspired by the face shields used by our American fighter pilots, TAC Visor can do things no ordinary visor can do. Like block blinding glare without blocking your view, so invisible dangers suddenly become visible, and enhance colors to give you vision as sharp as an eagle's. The secret is Bell & Howell's light filtering technology. Nothing to see, right? But look again as we hold up our TAC Visor. Our colorful American eagle is revealed. Amazing. Think it's a trick? Bring it in, guys. Well, check out what happens when I show it to these people. Hop in. Look at that windshield. Tell me what you see.
A blank screen?
Just a blank screen.
Nothing. Blank.
Go ahead and put down that TAC Visor and take a look again.
Whoa! What the? That is amazing.
That's crazy.
How does it do that?
Best of all, TAC Visor is easy to install on any car. Simply slide to adjust, and in just seconds, ready to rock and roll. So, if you need to block blinding glare without blocking your view, then you need a Bell & Howell TAC Visor. There's just nothing like it on the market today.
Act now to get a TAC Visor for just $19.99, and we'll even ship it to you free. Only a TAC Visor features Bell & Howell's precision and quality, and is backed by our lifetime guarantee. But wait, order today and we'll upgrade you to our 2-in-1 TAC Visor. Just pay a separate fee. When the sun goes down, use the night vision visor to improve visibility and block dangerous glare from oncoming headlights. This offer won't last long, so don't delay. Here's how to get yours today.
To order, call 1-800-965-3127 or go to tacvisor.com. That's 1-800-965-3127 or order online at tacvisor.com. That's 1-800-965-3127.
This summer, keep your foot down and the volume up. With best-in-class fuel economy and the most technologically advanced vehicle in its class, all in the Dodge Durango, America's fastest, most capable three-row SUV. Get yours at the Dodge Summer Clearance Event.
To look at me now, you don't see psoriasis. You see clear skin.
Cosentyx can help people with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis find clear skin that can last. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms if your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
How sexy are these elbows?
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentyx.
You always want to be able to deliver relief for your patients, get them out of pain fast. We have a product out there, Sensodyne Rapid Relief. If you use it on Monday, by Thursday, you'll be enjoying that chocolate ice cream again. They can start it, and 3 days later, I know that they're going to have the results they were looking for.
All right, you have to come check out this video. Whatever you're doing, come to your TV screens and look at this. This is a ship view of this strengthening storm by the name of Barry. This view was from Port Fourchon in the southeastern tip, the very southernmost tip of the state of Louisiana. Perhaps more ships out there, maybe some sort of oil rig or refinery. Certainly not the most prettiest of times, if you will, from that port. But we have to deal with scenes like this when we do have a tropical storm. Unfortunately, this is the balancing that comes along with Mother Nature. We've seen its beauty. We also see its damage and its destruction that it could bring. And it's also going to bring a lot of rain to this portion of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. How much rain do we see in the coming hours and days? Well, right around a foot to maybe a foot and a half for some local spots here. Right now, we're just dealing with the winds, the steady stream of showers. Look at the way this wind is carrying some of this rain right across the street here. Occasionally, you get a nice curtain or two of rain that comes through. Of course, this hood does not want to stay on right now because of the high winds. We've seen wind gusts today around 44 to 47 miles an hour. At LSU's Tiger Stadium, though, they had a wind gust today, 60 miles an hour, and that was earlier this morning before Barry made landfall. Let's get to Carl Parker right now. We do have a tornado warning. Carl.
All right, we're looking at a tornado warning now right along the state line between Alabama and Florida. That is Escambia and Escambia counties under warning going until 2:45. The motion here is towards the northeast, very close to Atmore right now, north at 25 miles per hour. Let's zoom down and get a closer look at the storm, show you what's going on with that. And we are looking at a little bit of rotation showing up now just southwest of Atmore. So you're looking at a couple of areas, a little circulation right in here, maybe one just to the northwest of that. So let's track this forward and show you where that's going to be headed in the next few minutes as that continues off towards the north, maybe just a little east of north right now, generally coming up towards Atmore. That'll be getting into Walnut Hill at 1:49, moving towards Atmore at 2:12, and Robinsonville coming up at 2:20. So a possible tornado on the way in these areas. And right now we've got a torcon of 4 out of 10 for southeastern parts of Louisiana, as well as southern Mississippi, as you've got a lot of wind shear. That's always the case when you've got a landfalling tropical storm. You're going to have a lot of wind shear. But by far, the greatest concern is going to be the very heavy rain. We're talking about exceptionally heavy rain coming down here across the region, going through the rest of this afternoon and through this evening. Looking at the satellite and radar picture, we've been watching this big mass of rain that has largely been offshore that's now beginning to push more onshore at this time. And we're also seeing another big banding feature well off to the east, and that coming into southern parts of Alabama. That's where there is now a flash flood warning in effect for Baldwin, Escambia, and Mobile counties going until 6:30. Looking at some rainfall rates in this area from south of Mobile and down across Mobile Bay of 2 to 3 inches per hour. That also towards Fairhope and right across I-10. So there certainly could be some high water coming up here very shortly with all that wet weather moving in. Now off to the west into southeast Louisiana, getting some gusty wind now. Winds gusting to 44 in Boothville, 32 in Baton Rouge, and 40 in New Orleans. And right now it is mostly light to moderate rain in the New Orleans metro area, but we expect that it's going to be very heavy through the rest of tonight, especially west of New Orleans towards Lafayette and towards Baton Rouge as well. That is going to be the sort of epicenter of the rain and also the wind. And we want to get out to Tevin Wooten right now. He's in Baton Rouge. And you know, Tevin, we've talked about the long duration of the rain and how that's going to contribute to the flash flooding in that area. But it's also going to be a long duration windstorm. Tropical storm force winds could be hitting that area for hours and hours and hours and hours. And that is really going to put a lot of pressure on the trees, especially when you're talking about saturated soils in that area.
Right, Carl. I mean, if it's not a deeply rooted tree or a substance at all, that tree will fall right over as these winds pick up to 60 miles an hour. But we want to go to St. Mary Parish, Louisiana, with David Nakan. He is the emergency manager there in St. Mary Parish. David, thanks for joining us today. I know that you are extremely busy, but can you kind of give us an update on what you all have seen since Barry has moved in?
I mean, the winds basically have started out about maybe 10, 11 o'clock last night and just has progressed up just a little bit, hadn't let up a whole lot. And that's what's caused as much as our power outages, I think, as we've had. I think currently we're looking at maybe 6,000 to 8,000 still without power. They're going to try to get it back on, but we're having sustained here probably 50 or better, and with higher gusts, and it's just too dangerous to put a guy up in a bucket truck to try to get all the power back on. But they are making headway. There are some areas they can work on. And so I think we dodged the bullet on the wind, but we're just waiting like everybody else. We're watching the rain bands in the Gulf, and we know they're going to move sooner or later, but the rain we've gotten so far has been very minimal.
What about impassable roads or any sort of roads that have been barricaded off or shut down? Do you have a count on that?
I don't have a head count, but I will tell you that there are numerous roads within the municipality that they've had to close. Our main roads are open. We are able to get, we've been having issues with getting fuel for generators, and the main roads are open, so we do have some service.
All right, that is David Nakan. He is the Emergency Manager Director in St. Mary Parish, Louisiana. David, thanks for joining us. We'll be right back after this break.
Feed your imagination. Feed your excitement. Feed your hunger. When heroes get hungry, they get the $12 extra large superhero pizza at Papa John's.
Jardiance asks,
While managing your type 2 diabetes, why think about your heart?
Lower A1C helps, but type 2 diabetes still increases my risk of a fatal cardiovascular event.
And that's why there's Jardiance, the first type 2 diabetes pill that offers a life-saving cardiovascular benefit for adults who also have known heart disease.
It can significantly reduce my risk of dying from a cardiovascular event.
And it lowers my A1C with diet and exercise.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
So, now what do you think?
Well, my A1C is important.
Yeah.
There's so much more to think about.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance today.
Sunglasses. Meet Bridge of Nose. Ball. Meet Carrie. Flying disc. Meet dog. Ice. Meet your calling. Summer. Meet your beer. Michelob Ultra Infusions. Superior light beer infused with lime pills and prickly pear cactus. Beer meets exotic fruit.
Today's Best Western. What does that mean?
With rewards points that never expire, you get free nights fast. Now get a $20 Best Western gift card after your first stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Work so hard, give it everything you got. Strength of a lioness, tough as a knot. Walking the stage and we're never gonna stop. All strength, no sweat, just in case you forgot. All strength, no sweat.
Cheez-It snacks are the most satisfying combination of crunch with cheese, with their delicious perfection. Cheese.
In business, speed is everything. It's the entrepreneurs with the instinct to move fast who are leading businesses to succeed. We have the power today to deliver 1 gigabit speeds to every business on our network. If your business isn't moving this fast, your competitors will be. Revolutionize your business with Mediacom.
Today through Saturday, the giant used car elimination event is happening at Vic Koenig Chevrolet. Used cars are just $29 down, with payments as low as $99 a month. We've sold a record number of new cars, and now we're overstocked with over 100 clean, late-model trade-ins. Right now, $29 down buys a used car, truck, sport utility, or minivan. GMCs, Nissans, Ford, Chevys, you name it, it's here. $29 down, and payments start at just $99 a month. Rush now to the giant used car elimination event only at Vic Koenig Chevy. Now through Saturday only.
Flex to 321321. That's FLEX to 321321. Do it now.
This is epic!
You're watching America's most trusted TV news network.
We've got a severe weather threat. We are live on the ground. Right now, it's coming down.
The Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under sunny skies. Today, lots of sunshine. High 90. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear. Low 70. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 88. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, folks, we are just getting started in terms of the impacts and the threats from Tropical Storm Barry. Welcome back into the Weather Channel. I'm meteorologist Tevin Moon joining you live from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We've picked up about 3/10 of an inch of rain so far, but again, this is just getting started. For folks sitting at home thinking, oh, it's not too bad, Well, it might not be that bad right now, but I can guarantee you, give it about 6 to 12 hours, it'll be a much different story here in Baton Rouge and all across the state of Louisiana, into Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida as well. But some of the impacts from Barry, they will likely be even beyond portions of the northern Gulf Coast. But here, speaking of coast, the Mississippi River, the mighty Mississippi, it is just about, I would say, 150 yards towards the west for me right there. Of course, that river flows towards the north into Arkansas and south, emptying right into the mouth of the Mississippi and the Gulf of Mexico. But it might be a bit difficult to see, but with my eye, I am able to tell these winds picking up at 40 miles an hour right now, at times gusting at 40 to 45. I'm actually able to see the white caps of the water and the wave action it's creating right on top of the Mississippi, at the top of the surface. Another element that shows you the strong winds blowing through, that flag right there on the corner of River Street, that is also swaying back and forth every which way as the wind picks up here or there. We picked up, again, 3/10 of an inch of rainfall, and we have so much more to go. We do know that flooding will be a concern here in the town of Baton Rouge. Some 1,400 tons of sand distributed by the city all week long to prepare for the flooding impacts from Barry and here in the town of Baton Rouge. They are expecting, though, that most of those sandbags hopefully will not be needed, but it is good to see residents being proactive. Back in 2016, they saw an amount of about 2 feet of rainfall in a short order of time. They got caught off guard then. Carl, hopefully, I don't think a lot of people will get caught off guard with Barry coming through right now and into tomorrow. But beyond today, where does Barry go further inland, Carl?
Well, it's going to very slowly come up through south central parts of Louisiana through the rest of today and move into the northern part of the state tomorrow. A lot of different threats here, including a tornado threat. There is now a tornado warning for Escambia and Escambia counties in Florida and also in Alabama. We're watching that circulation right there, now coming up towards Route 97 and moving towards the northeast. So that's going to be coming towards Bratt here in the next few minutes and towards Canoe as well. Heads up, a possible tornado coming your way. These do tend to be fleeting, but certainly there's going to be a risk of that today. We've got a 4 out of 10 on the Torcon in parts of Louisiana and also in Mississippi. This has been a very strange storm for a long time now. Made landfall about an hour ago, and here you see we've got very heavy rain just off to the south there. A lot of the weather has been on the south side. It's now beginning to push in just to the east of that center, and there's also a prolific band that is now coming up into southern parts of Alabama. So there is a flood warning in effect, flash flood warning for Baldwin, Escambia, and Mobile counties going until 6:30 tonight. Some rainfall rates here of 2 to 3 inches per hour now coming up across Mobile Bay and into Mobile. So please watch out for high water there. Winds now gusting up to about tropical storm force in New Orleans. We're getting mostly light to moderate rain right now, but we think that's going to change pretty dramatically over the next several hours. In fact, if you keep your eyes on that area west of New Orleans near Baton Rouge and Lafayette, you'll notice how much rain is going to be coming down over the next 24 hours in that area, finally thinning out into tomorrow evening, but still some bands driving up in the wake of the storm there across the same areas. And so we've got potential for double-digit rainfall, Baton Rouge and Lafayette. That's where the greatest concern for flash flooding is going to be. It is likely, we think, and this area has been pushed a little farther west relative to the forecast yesterday, really squarely in Baton Rouge and also in Lafayette. But then that flash flood potential is going to come right up and across the Mississippi River into Louisiana, Mississippi, and also parts of Arkansas during the day tomorrow. Let's get out to Dave Malkoff right now. He's been in Mandeville on the north side of Lake Pontchartrain. And Dave, pretty amazing to see the wave action there on the lake. It looks like the ocean when you look out there.
Yeah, it is incredible to see how fast those waves are pushing in here. And that's just 0.3 miles away from us, so just a couple blocks. So as those waves crash, they're pushing water into here. But this neighborhood flooding isn't necessarily what the folks here in Mandeville are concerned about. They're concerned about this water getting into the river systems that actually drain into the lake. So what you're having is this kind of head-to-head action where you have the water trying to drain into the lake and the lake trying to push against that into the river systems. So those rivers will overtop, they think, because they don't have any kind of levee protection on those rivers. So that is the main concern here, and it is the main concern for a lot of people who live in this area. We are looking at a tropical storm that is still coming on shore. We still have that wind that is pushing onto this river or this neighborhood. So we have the wind-driven water that's on this neighborhood right now, and we're going to follow this right after the break. We're going to take a short break here, and we will be right back as we take a live look at Baton Rouge, the state capital of Louisiana, right here on the Weather Channel. This is Tracking Barry.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Home insurance trusted by more people than any other. State Farm.
Okay, everyone, our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals. Ensure for strength and energy.
Morning, noon, night. Indulgent, delicious, irresistible. Fancy Feast makes delighting your cat delightfully easy. Every recipe, every last detail. Another fancy way to show your love. Fancy Feast. Introducing Fancy Feast Gourmet Naturals recipes.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong and helps you fix them. Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet?
Periodontax Complete Protection. If you see traces of blood when you brush or floss, which kind of toothpaste do you choose? One for healthy gums or one for strong teeth? You don't have to choose. Complete Protection from Periodontax has 8 designed benefits for healthy gums and strong teeth. Take control and leave bleeding gums behind with Complete Protection from Periodontax.
We're Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh, and you may know us from your very first sandwich. Your mammoth masterpiece, and whatever this was. Because we make our meat with the good of the deli and no artificial preservatives. Make every sandwich count with Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh.
When I am helping a customer, I need to treat everybody the way I would want them to treat my family. I want them to know that I really want to help you. That's what I'm here for.
Fixed right, priced right, right on time. The triple promise, only at Firestone Complete Auto Care.
All right, folks, you are watching the Weather Channel and our continuing coverage of Tropical Storm Barry, the first storm to make landfall in the state of Louisiana since 2017. That was Nate. Today, it is Barry making its presence now. We've got our crews spread all across the country here for you to cover this storm. Myself, Tevin Wooten in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but also Dave Malkoff in Mandeville, Louisiana. We're showing you the sights and the sounds of Barry as it barrels inland. Speaking of Mandeville, Louisiana, take a look at this. Flooding in that city has certainly been something to take in. A lot of people waking up to this morning here as that storm surge really kicked in. You're talking about at least 1 foot to 1.5 foot of water covering roadways, covering some businesses, some homes, water where water should not be. And that will really be the calling card of this storm, as we are just now starting to feel some of the most significant impacts of this storm. Again, it is still barreling inland. Right now, that forward motion of the storm between 5 and 6 miles per hour, so it is a crawl's pace right now, or turtle's pace as it crawls inland. But the rainfall, that is certainly going to start to pick up. In fact, the forecasted amounts of rainfall today, between 1 foot to 1.5 foot of rainfall across some portions of southeastern Louisiana. Where I am right here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, of course, it is windy. But let's take a listen to the governor and how he is preparing for this storm.
I also want to caution everybody, this is just the beginning. I ask everyone to stay vigilant and be safe. This has always been projected to be a rain flood event, and it will be. The vast majority of the rain that's falling right now is falling in the Gulf. That will soon change as the storm continues to move
and this certainly
north.
Will be a rainfall event. Again, for a lot of people, the forecasted rainfall amounts between 1 foot and 1.5 foot for some of the highest rainfall totals. Some may see a little bit less than that. Some also could see more than that. As this storm moves towards the north and west right now, it moves slowly, and that will be the damning part about this. As it does crawl, that's just unleashing a lot of rainfall. So here in the town of Baton Rouge, residents have been preparing all week long, sandbagging, staging any sort of barricades. The city crews have been doing that today, and some of the parish leaders have been doing that today and yesterday. Also, another thing that you may want to do if the storm has not reached you yet, clear out any storm drains, any gutters, any sort of debris or leaves that may be clogging those up. You do want to clear those out right now before the storm arrives, because when the storm does arrive and that rainfall does start, it will be too late. How can you tell the storm is on its way? Well, if the winds start picking up between 25 and 35 miles an hour, they're likely going to pick up even more than that. Here in Baton Rouge, we've had winds today between 40 and 45 miles an hour for some of the strongest gusts, near 47 miles an hour. But there's also been a reported gust along the weather stem station at Alex Box Stadium at 60 miles an hour. The rain continues to fall here. It is a very quiet Saturday in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This place would typically be popping and hopping. We are in the heart of downtown Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Mississippi River also, again, about 100 yards away, maybe 150 yards away. That way, that River Street is right there. We're on Convention Street right here. The river, as I look at it, some white caps being produced right now from the very strong winds. But again, this is just the beginning, folks. So if you're at home thinking, is this it? I can answer that question for you right now. No, this is not it. I mean, we look at the radar and we see the deluge of rainfall that it's unleashing right now near the Mobile Bay, all the way to Pensacola. Flash flood warnings are up. We are expecting those to go up even more across portions of the northern Gulf Coast. Let's stay in the state of Louisiana and move to Mandeville, Louisiana, with our Dave Malkoff. And Dave, you have seen a lot of water today where it unfortunately should not be.
Yeah, the lake is 0.3 miles away from me, but as the parish president told me, I'm standing in the lake, for lack of a better term, right now, because the lake has pushed right over there with these huge white caps, and we saw it happen where it actually pushes right over into the neighborhood. And right now we've got this water standing right in the neighborhood. Now I'm on the street, but if you just walk a little bit, and I'm going to be very, very careful here, if you walk just a little bit towards these homes, you can see as you get into the ditches, it gets a lot deeper as you walk towards this way. So it's already up to my knees here. And this home, you can see their stairs come down to just basically water. And now that I'm off the concrete, I just got to make sure that I'm not going to step into a ditch. I am waterproof up to here. But this is what people are dealing with. We have seen people in this neighborhood in Mandeville on stand-up paddle boards. We have seen them walking through this and biking through this. Now, they know exactly where the concrete is. As a person who doesn't live in this neighborhood, I'm not exactly sure which is concrete and which is actual ditch or sidewalk. So they know know exactly where to go. But what we haven't seen is anybody driving through this so far in smaller vehicles. So that word has not only got out, but the people in this neighborhood know exactly what to do and how to stay safe in this. This is not very unusual. It may happen a couple times a day. So this is a flooding that you'll see here in just a couple times a year. But right now we want to get you back into the lab because we've got a tornado warning associated with this, Carl.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. That is always a threat when you've got a storm coming on shore. So certainly we're looking out for the possibility of some short-lived tornadoes. We're going to get into that in a moment. We want to show you where it is here. This is in southwestern parts of Alabama, Conecuh and Escambia and Monroe counties under warning until 3 p.m. That is the new tornado warning. There's also one that is ongoing near Atmore. We're seeing a little bit of circulation showing up right there, now just south of Atmore and along Route 97. That is now moving north or a little to the east of north at about 25 miles per hour. So coming towards Atmore in just a few minutes here. You want to get to your safe place right now. Robinsonville 214 and Little Rock by 226. Looking at a threat for tornadoes across a pretty large area today. That's pretty typical when you've got a landfalling tropical system and a 4 out of 10 on the Torcon for parts of Mississippi and Alabama and also in Louisiana. Storm surge, another huge threat with this storm. We're looking at a water level rise of 6.6 feet at Emirata Pass. A water level like that is life-threatening storm surge. You don't want to be anywhere near the coast, and this onshore flow is going to continue for a long, long time yet. 5.1 right now at Eugene Island, and we're looking for 3 to 6 feet over a very large area from Shell Beach down across Plaquemines Parish and westward towards Morgan City and Intracoastal City as well. That, by the way, is where the storm made landfall. It's been a weird storm all along here. We've had most of the weather on the southern side, southern half of the circulation that's just now beginning to wrap up and into that core more towards the eastern side. So we're starting to see an increase in rainfall east of the center in southeast Louisiana. And then you also see this banding feature that has been coming into northwest Florida and into southern Alabama. Flash flood warning for Baldwin, Escambia, and Mobile counties going until 6:30. And we're looking at rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. Now coming down in Mobile and right across I-10. Please watch for high water in this area. Rain is not nearly as heavy as you get near New Orleans. We think that that is going to change, though. This is one of our high-resolution models, and if you pay attention to this area in particular, west of New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Morgan City, most likely the rain is really going to be stepping up later today and then into tomorrow as well. There you go, 3 o'clock in the morning, really coming down, and that'll continue through a lot of the afternoon as well. So you're talking about a sizable area of 8 to 12 inches of rainfall. This is our brand new rainfall forecast, revised downward just a little bit, but you're still talking about a widespread area of very heavy rain from south central Louisiana, Baton Rouge, as we mentioned, and then right up into the Mississippi as well. So 11, 12, maybe 13 inches of rain or more in some of these spots, and it's going to be coming down for a very long period of time. So that's the biggest part of the problem that we face from this storm. It is likely that we will see flash flooding in those areas around Baton Rouge and Lafayette, and then it is possible as we get well up into parts of the Mid-South, likely also, we think, right up through the Mississippi Valley there, western parts of Mississippi and into eastern Arkansas and Louisiana. That's during the day tomorrow. So that threat is going to be lifting up and along the Mississippi Valley. Talking about wind here, the wind's certainly pretty strong. It's not incredibly strong. It's stronger right along the coast. We're thinking that tropical storm force winds are going to be possible in south central Louisiana, maybe some hurricane force winds right along the coast there. But again, because the storm is such a slow-moving storm, this is going to be something that goes on for hours and hours and hours and hours, where if you get strong winds that affect a tree for a few hours, maybe it stands up through that. But if it goes on for 18 hours, maybe it doesn't. And that's why we're concerned about power outages over a very large area in southern parts of Alabama and also in southwestern Mississippi. So in New Orleans, we're looking for 50+ mile-per-hour gusts going into this evening, 5 to 8 inches of rain, and up to 5 feet of storm surge on Lake Pontchartrain. Most of New Orleans protected by the levee system, the hurricane risk reduction system, but certainly on the north side of the lake, that's where we've been looking at substantial flooding there near Mandeville, north of Lake Pontchartrain. And into Baton Rouge, we're looking for 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts into tonight and 8 to 12 inches of rainfall to come. So this is going to be the sort of epicenter for the heaviest of rainfall. That's where we think life-threatening flash flooding is a distinct possibility. And keep in mind, this is going to go on through tonight and right through tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. It's going to be a prolonged event, so don't let your guard down, even though the worst of the weather has not gotten to you yet. Mark, over to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Carl. Well, lots of information coming in about Tropical Storm Barry. Here's what we know right now. Hurricane Barry made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane early this afternoon near Intracoastal City, Louisiana. Mississippi River is now forecast to crest at 17 feet in New Orleans. While life-threatening flooding is possible, the risk for overtopping levees is minimal. Governor John Bell Edwards said in a press conference earlier, no levees have failed or breached in Louisiana. We're going to take you live now to Mandeville, Louisiana, where we have people walking along towards the surf off of Lake Pontchartrain. Folks, this is very, very dangerous here. It might be calm right where they are, but the toe of the water, the push of the water that's coming in from Lake Pontchartrain is incredible. It would not be hard at all to get captured in that surf and be pulled out onto the lake. This is definitely not what you want to do in this kind of a situation. You can see there are a lot of people here. This is a very, very risky situation here. If you were to get caught in one of those waves, you could be pulled right back out into the lake. So we definitely not what you want to do here. This is a very, very risky situation going on. Carl, I'm sure as you would agree.
Yeah, you know, and we should point out too that this is a long lens, as we call it. So we're looking over a very long distance, and it gives you the impression that these people are right next to the waves. And in fact, there's probably, you know, at least some distance between them and the greatest waves. So you're looking at the edge of Lake Pontchartrain right there, and you're looking at the storm surge that has come up and into this neighborhood. So, you know, where they're walking, it's a little safer. You know, I wouldn't say safe. You know, for one thing, there's a lot of stuff that could be in that water, including alligators. No shortage of alligators in that part of the world. But, you know, certainly you see also the incredible wave action there. And that's another part of what drives that storm surge. You've got the water level rise, the water that is being pushed in by the storm. But then you're also looking at what's called wave run-up and wave setup, where each successive wave that comes in crashes on top of the water that's come in from the previous wave, and that also raises the water level some, so that contributes to that storm surge. But that is really remarkable wave action, considering that it's a lake. It is a large lake. It's the 11th largest lake in the U.S., but you know, it looks very much like the ocean. Yeah, look at that. Look at the wind that's you know, affecting the flag there. So there's certainly a lot of gusty wind in this area. It's gusting now up to about 40 miles per hour. So we're getting winds gusting to tropical storm force. You know, that's another amazing thing about this. You know, this is not among the strongest of tropical cyclones, but it doesn't take a really strong storm to cause a lot of issues, to pile up that water, to generate the very large waves. And, you know, certainly those people that are a little farther out there where they're getting towards the wave action, yeah, I think that is definitely bordering on the edge of not smart.
Yeah, and one of the things, too, is it's a very shallow lake, so it's not hard to build up some big wave action and get into trouble pretty quickly. All right, let's get over to Tevin now with what's happening a little bit further upstream here. Wow, you can see the wave action there. Tevin, I'm sure you saw what we just saw. A little bit calmer where we are, but going to get worse as we go through time here.
Yeah, Mark, and to set the expectation for people, it's not going to be this continuous wind event with winds at 50 miles an hour for several hours on end. It will be the periodic gusts where the winds are beyond 50 miles an hour here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So for folks thinking this is it, oh, this is nothing, no, this is not it. You will see wind gusts beyond 50 miles an hour later today. And into tonight, the rainfall, that will be the biggest concern here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. How much rainfall can we expect? Well, between 8 and 12 inches. So if you think about that rainfall, if not more, by the way, if you think about that nearly foot of rainfall on the ground, saturated grounds, by the way, and then you think about not these trees here with the winds blowing at 50 to 60 miles an hour. If the grounds are saturated, the root systems are weak and they give way, then those trees come down. In fact, we've already had scenes of trees down across Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That can certainly fall down on power lines, on homes, on cars, on businesses, and then that leads to the threat of also power outages. For the state of Louisiana, so far, right around 100,000 people without power. We're expecting that number to continue to climb as we get into tonight, and unfortunately even into Sunday and perhaps Monday too. So do be patient. Know that the power crews can't go out to do work to restore power because the bucket trucks, they can't go up when high winds are up and out and around in the area too. So this will be something that may test patience for a lot of people. Hey, still stick with us here because coming up on the other side of this break, we've got much more coverage of Tropical Storm Barry. Our crews are spread out across the Gulf Coast. We'll be right back.
Pieces or cups? Pieces or cups? Pieces or cups? Pieces in cups! Man, we're killing it over here, huh? Not sorry. Reese's.
Think all premium fuels are the same? New Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline is engineered with 4 levels of defense against gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. That helps keep your engine running like new. So maybe it's time to unthink what you think about premium fuel. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. It's fuel for thought.
Parents have a way of imagining the worst, especially when your easily distracted teenager has the car. At Subaru, we're taking on distracted driving with sensors that alert you when your eyes are off the road. The all-new Subaru Forester. The safest Forester ever.
Need a change of scenery? Kayak searches hundreds of travel sites and filters by cabin class, Wi-Fi, and more, so you can be confident you're getting the right flight at the best price. Kayak. Search one and done.
When you carry out large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99, Domino's Carry-Out Insurance has you covered. Because stuff happens. Stuff like this. Just bring it back and we'll remake it for free.
Try Drive Up at Target. Delivered to your car door so you can do more. More refill. More recharge. More relax. Target run and done.
When you start with a better hot dog from Oscar Mayer,
That's no way to treat a dog.
you can do no wrong.
Where did you learn that? The internet.
Yeah.
With no artificial preservatives or added nitrates or nitrites, it's all for the love of hot dogs.
I'm Jimmy Dean, and I wish I could tell you how I feel about a morning like this. And
A taste of old Mexico. Tequilas.
It's Thursday. That means lunch at Tequila's with Pollo Loco on special or Pollo Playa for dinner. Either one, you're sure to enjoy washing it all down with a pitcher of lime margaritas for only $7.99. Thirsty Thursday is best with a pitcher of lime margaritas, especially when they're only $7.99. Tequila's. Yum.
Tequilas. Ándale.
Attention, this is a legal alert for anyone who has used Roundup Weed Killer and been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. If you used Roundup Weed Killer and have been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you may be entitled to significant compensation. A multi-million-dollar verdict was recently awarded to a man whose non-Hodgkin's lymphoma was linked to Roundup Weed Killer. If you used Roundup Weed Killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call now.
Cool. For a limited time, choose a free Purple product with mattress purchase at purple.com/TV.
This is epic.
You're watching America's most trusted TV news network,
We've got a severe weather threat.
We are live on the ground. Right now, it's coming down.
the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under fair skies. This afternoon, mostly sunny. High 91. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a rain shower. Low 70. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 88. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, folks, new video into the Weather Channel here, and out of Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, trying to attempt at least to herd cattle in the middle of Tropical Storm Barry. This is certainly a frightening time for people, but our four-legged friends too. Those ranchers are scrambling to get these cattle inside their trailers so they can get them out of harm's way. A reminder too, if you've got pets, you're scared of this storm, they're likely afraid as well. So do take care of your animals and pets too. And then we get to Prevost Island. That is where, this is a scary scene, no doubt about it. Down power lines. If you're not careful with these, they can certainly cause you some pain. If perhaps you come across one that is live, you don't want to cross these wires if they are live. And if you're not certain if they're live or not, just treat them as if they're live. And this is unfortunately a scene that can cause some power outages, and we may be seeing more scenes like this today. I mean, just look at how there's a tree down on the left side, and then that power line drapes the roadway. And that's another thing to consider here. It may not necessarily be the power line coming down by the force of the wind, but if the trees are coming down by the force of the wind, then those and they land on top of the power lines, and the power lines will come down as well. Welcome back into Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Meteorologist Tevin Woon joining you here. We've been here for the better part of 2 days now. Barry has arrived. The rainfall, that's been ongoing for the past, I would say, 12 to 18 hours today. Earlier this morning, too, the winds have not been continuous. The rainfall has been more continuous than the winds. However, the winds have gusted today between 44 and 47 miles per hour. The strongest gusts I've seen so far, 60 miles an hour at Alex Bach Stadium, excuse me, home of the LSU Tigers. Right now, rain is still in the area. Winds gusting at 24 miles an hour, gusting at 35 miles an hour. From the southeast, sustained at 24 to 25 miles an hour. We do have some power outages here, right around 10 to 20,000 in the immediate vicinity of Baton Rouge, but across the state of Louisiana, 100,000. There goes another wind gust right there. You kind of have to lean back into it so you don't get carried away here. But looking at the radar, the worst is yet to come with this storm. Not the best, the worst is yet to come with this storm, especially some of the heavier rainfall right off of the coast here to the south and west of Morgan City, a heavy thunderstorm complex that will push through. As these thunderstorms push through and these outer rain bands push through, they're going to add up the rainfall between 9 and 12 inches. That is certainly a possibility, but look what happens the further west you go along I-10 and right along the juncture of I-10 and I-49. Maybe looking at some rainfall totals to the south of Lafayette between 10 and 18 inches of rain from now until next Tuesday. Let's get you into Mandeville, Louisiana. They've seen some rain, but they've also seen flooding by way of storm surge. That is where we find our Dave Malkoff. And Dave, has the water started to recede any at all?
Well, no, it is not receding. It is actually encroaching onto the neighborhood. So if I'm looking right here, it's a quarter of a block more than it was when we just started about an hour ago. And the problem that we're seeing here is right over my shoulder. That is Lake Pontchartrain. Let me give you a better look at Lake Pontchartrain. Just bringing you just a couple blocks away from where we are, and Charles Peak is over there, our storm tracker. Charles, I asked you to go over there so we could see what you could see from that area because you saw that earlier. Explain to the viewers as they look at this what they're looking at.
The waves that you're seeing crashing is not the Gulf of Mexico. That is Lake Pontchartrain, even though there's 4 or 5 foot waves crashing up probably over 6 to 8 feet at times. And like you said, Dave, I've been here probably about 4 hours in this location, and they're much bigger now than they were a few hours ago. And Boy, I hate to see it. We keep having a little while ago, probably 15, 20 people going all the way out to the edge, waist-deep water with these huge waves crashing. I hate to see that going on. I just fear that somebody could get washed away. But law enforcement is around, and I don't know if they're just allowing them to do that.
Yeah, Lake Pontchartrain right here, where if you situate New Orleans on the south side, and then we are directly over the causeway on the north side of Lake Pontchartrain, and we're seeing that kind of pushing action, and that's been happening all day, and these white caps are just splashing right into the neighborhoods. Now, where you are, is the water moving very fast?
No, Dave, I'm probably about a block away, even though I'm zoomed in. But it's just sort of similar to the situation where I saw you just a little bit ago. It's just slightly moving water, but about where I'm at right now, it's ankle deep, but pretty quickly it gets to waist deep water.
Well, when you go a little bit further towards the lake, I noticed that the water is moving faster, but we are seeing it encroach and coming closer to other homes and blocking off access for anybody around here. Thanks so much, Charles Peak, for going over there and showing us what it looks like over at the Yacht Club. Now, once again, that's less than a mile away from where we are standing, and we're standing right here on right in front of all these homes that people are kind of stuck in for right now as far as vehicles. We've seen people on bicycles. We've seen people on stand-up paddleboards trying to get through this neighborhood. This is a story that's happening right before our eyes. We're going to take another short break right here, but we are continuing to cover this, and as we go to break, the rain is starting to fall. This is Barry on the Weather Channel.
So, Kim, you going for a big Drive Safe and Save discount? Yep. Using the app? I've been quite vigilant.
Sharon says step on it. The meeting started.
Okay, write her back. Dear Sharon, don't mess with my discount.
Faster, Mommy. I gotta go to the bathroom.
I do too, honey, but we're gonna hold it for Mommy's discount. Easy, easy.
But you're in labor.
Don't mess with my discount!
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save from State Farm.
This is not just a headache. This is not just a fever. This is not just the flu. It's meningitis B, and you're not there to help. While meningitis B is uncommon, once symptoms appear, they can progress quickly and can be fatal, sometimes within 24 hours. Before you send your teen to college, make sure you help protect them. Talk to your teen's doctor about meningitis B vaccination.
When I am helping a customer, I need to treat everybody the way I would want them to treat my family. I want them to know that I really want to help you. That's what I'm here for.
Fixed right, priced right, right on time. The triple promise, only at Firestone Complete Auto Care.
Stay tuned to get a free umbrella with new breakthrough technology. That's right, free. An umbrella can keep you dry when it starts to pour, but it's a struggle to get it closed and into the door. Well, not anymore. Introducing Betterbrella, the ingenious new umbrella with reverse open-close technology. There's no easier way to get in from the rain. You'll always stay dry with no puddles inside. The secret? Betterbrella opens and closes differently than other umbrellas. Old umbrellas just get in the way, but watch how fast and easy Betterbrella saves the day. Plus, look, close it and it forms a waterproof cone. All the wetness stays inside, not on your floor. Amazing! The secret is Betterbrella's smart redesign of the traditional umbrella. We turned it upside down and inside out, so now it's super simple to get in and out of any door without getting wet. You'll be inside in a jiffy with Betterbrella. And never worry about the wind again, because Betterbrella is windproof. Strong wind, soaking rain, or heavy snow, Betterbrella keeps you dry wherever you go.
This umbrella makes my rainy days so much easier. Whether I'm walking the dog or grocery shopping,
This umbrella works.
We want all of America to try this revolutionary new umbrella. So here's an insane deal. You can get the all-new Better Umbrella in your choice of black, red, or blue for just $29.99. But wait, call now, and through this special TV offer, you can get a second Better Umbrella free and get your shipping absolutely free. Plus, we'll instantly upgrade you to our special ergonomic handle. The soft comfort grip molds perfectly to any hand and makes it easier to hold. Yours free. And we guarantee Better Umbrella will be the last umbrella you'll ever own or your money back. Better Umbrella. Call now to get a second umbrella free and your shipping free. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-886-4752 or go to betterumbrella.com. That's 1-800-886-4752 or order online at betterumbrella.com.
Don't miss your golden opportunity to experience thrilling performance. Now at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event.
Get 0.9% APR for 60 months on all 2019 models.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Discover new San Pellegrino Essenza, a twist of Mediterranean flavors with the gentle bubbles of San Pellegrino. Add a twist of flavor. San Pellegrino Essenza, tastefully Italian.
We've already seen those winds gusting over 50 miles an hour.
The bad weather, the heavy rain, and the wind spread far and wide.
All right, folks, that is some of the sights and sounds of Tropical Storm Barry. We have crews spanned all across the Gulf Coast to attack this storm from multiple angles to show you what it is like with this tropical storm. Let's show you what it's like in Mandeville, Louisiana, with some new video here just into the Weather Channel. High water headaches here, no doubt about it. How high is that water, you ask? Well, some of the mailboxes there covered in water, at least the posts. Mailbox typically 40, 45 inches, so you're looking at 3.5 to 4 feet of water where water should not be. Normally high ground, and that is certainly a possibility with storm surge and inland flooding too across portions of the northern Gulf Coast. Welcome back into the show. I am meteorologist Tevin Root here, joining you from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And while we're not expecting any sort of storm surge, we are expecting an inland flood threat here with 8 to 12, maybe even higher. 8 to 12 inches of rain, that is. So what does that look like off the ground? Well, as I look at some of the bricks here off the post, that's 12 inches of rain, folks, right about here. Maybe 1.5 feet for some people out there. So do take care, do heed the warnings. If roads are closed, they are closed for a reason. You do not want to drive into a flooded roadway. If you do, you don't necessarily know if that road has not been washed out underneath the road. Let's get to really the man of the hour, not Tropical Storm Barry, but Ken Graham. He is the director of the National Hurricane Center. Ken, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're extremely busy, but can you kind of give us an update on where we are with Barry right now? It has made landfall, it's pushing inland, but it's also strengthening in terms of the intensity of rainfall rates.
Yeah, Tevin, great to talk to you. Yeah, this is the latest information. It was still a tropical storm, and the center making its way on land. Not a lot of convection around that center, but look at all the rainfall. We just have so much rainfall still, even where you are starting to see some of that rain and a larger patch, even some heavier rain building in. But some of these rain bands, we see them all day long. The Mississippi coast, also over to Mobile, Alabama. We've seen repetitive rain just continuing to get into some of these areas. And I've seen it so many times over the years. At night is just particularly dangerous. Sometimes you start seeing new rain bands form overnight, so we're going to have to really watch for that.
And Ken, can you also tell us about the tornado threat too? A lot of people don't know that hurricanes can also bring a tornado threat with them.
Yeah, it's interesting with that, and we've seen several different warnings out, and a lot of times you get these in the rain bands, and if you really draw a line like this through the center of a hurricane, most of those tornadoes occur on the right front quadrant in those rain bands, and that's where we've seen some of them over in Alabama. And think about how far that is. That's nowhere near the center. Hundreds of miles away is where we're getting some of those tornadoes. So, it's not just a coastal thing, and also it's not just around the center. These impacts are just very large.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too. For the people at home, maybe in Arkansas, northern Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee, what can they expect in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 days as Barry moves inland, ultimately weakening but still bringing threats there?
Yeah, it's a great point, Tevin, because this is a slow mover. So with time, just a slow forecast here. So with time, we're moving northward. So places like Arkansas, even into Missouri over the next couple days into early next week, all of this moisture is just going to move northward. So that threat for flooding and that heavy rain moves north with it. So we really got to pay attention, not just through the weekend, but well inland early next week. We just got to keep an eye on these tropical rain showers.
And speaking of Missouri, before Barry gained its tropical strength and tropical DNA, it started out sort of as a cluster of storms in Missouri, swooped down to the Gulf of Mexico, acquired that tropical moisture, and then moved back inland. How rare is it for a system to form that way?
Yeah, we sure don't see it too often. A lot of times we'll see, you know, some sort of front that stalls and maybe a low forming on that front. But this was different, really coming through Tennessee and then through Georgia into the Gulf of Mexico. So kind of a rare case. It's happened before. It happens every once in a while, but really tough to forecast those type of storms. But, you know, early on we're looking at it. We looked at it and we saw this could be a threat. So we were able to give plenty of notice on this storm. And even at 48 hours, you know, the error looks like it's about 34 miles off. So we've been tracking it close, really trying to give everybody the best notice we can.
All right, that is Ken Graham, the director of the National Hurricane Center. Ken, we know you will still be busy, even though Barry has made landfall. Barry made landfall just about an hour or so ago, 2 hours ago, still bringing impacts to perhaps your neighborhood. We're breaking down the forecast details next as Weather Channel continues our tropical storm coverage of Barry.
Feed your imagination. Feed your excitement. Feed your hunger. When heroes get hungry, they get the $12 extra large superhero pizza at Papa John's.
With advanced automotive technology available on the Nissan Rogue, you'll be equipped to help protect the moments that matter most. This is tech that gives you confidence. This is Nissan Intelligent Mobility.
Cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light.
With bipolar I disorder, it can feel like there's too much to do, and you need to do it all. But mania, such as unusual changes in your mood, activity, or energy levels, can leave you on shaky ground. Help take control by asking your healthcare provider about Vraylar. Vraylar treats acute mania of bipolar I disorder. Vraylar significantly reduces overall manic symptoms and was proven in adults with mixed episodes who have both mania and depression. Vraylar should not be used in elderly patients with dementia due to increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. High cholesterol, weight gain, high blood sugar, and decreased white blood cells, both of which can be serious or fatal, dizziness upon standing, falls, seizures, impaired judgment, heat sensitivity, and trouble swallowing may occur. Ask your healthcare provider if Vraylar can help you find your balance.
Every day, millions of people looking for healthy skin reach for Cetaphil, recommended by dermatologists, awarded by Allure, and most of all, loved by skin. Cetaphil, the cleanser sensitive skin loves.
Prestige creams not living up to the hype? Olay Regenerist shatters the competition. Big hype, big price, big deal. Olay Regenerist hydrates skin better than creams costing over $100, $200, and even $400. For skin that looks younger than it should. Fact check this ad in Good Housekeeping. Olay Regenerist. Now, try Olay Hydrating Eye. Hydrates better than the #1 prestige eye cream.
Okay, everyone, our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals. Ensure for strength and energy.
This is hell.
This is Hal's heart. It's been broken and put back together. This is also Hal's heart. And this is Hal's relief, knowing he's covered. This is Hal's heart, and it's beating better than ever. This is what Medicare from Blue Cross Blue Shield does for Hal. And with easy access to quality health care, imagine what we can do for you. This is the benefit of Blue.
All right, come to your TV screens, folks, and look at this. This is high water where you certainly do not want it. Bayou Vista, Louisiana, homes and mobile homes damaged from a lot of water coming through. And unfortunately, this is just the beginning for a lot of people, of course. This happening earlier today, but just look at how much water there is, how much damage there is, trees, wind swaying back and forth. Sort of in the height of the storm here with Tropical Storm Barry for those folks in Bayou Vista, Louisiana. Trees down, snapped every which way you look. And this is, again, it's just the beginning here on a Saturday. I'm meteorologist Tevin Rudin joining you live from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We, too, are expecting some high water here. In fact, the town all week long, or the city all week long, has been preparing, passing out some 1,400 tons of sand for residents that feel they may are vulnerable to high water coming to their homes and to their businesses. So they passed that out earlier today. We were at some of those sandbag locations, and a lot of people still remember the flooding back in 2016, which brought nearly 2 feet of rain. A lot of people said they felt unprepared with that storm that came through. And by the way, that storm didn't even have a name or a nomenclature attached to it. It was just a storm that came through and brought a lot of rainfall. So just because it's a tropical storm or a hurricane or Barry or any name for that matter, it doesn't necessarily mean that the impacts aren't as great. So do not just pay attention to the classification here. For example, in Baton Rouge, though it is a tropical storm, we too are preparing for high winds and rain. Another place that saw a lot of rainfall and high winds, that was Golden Meadow, Louisiana. And Robert Ray was there. He brings us this story.
This is Golden Meadow, Louisiana, in Lafourche Parish, southwest of New Orleans. You can see this is a highway, folks, that should go about 5 miles to the south to a tiny town that those people who stayed down there have no way out but boat. You can see the debris here all over this highway. The water has come in from the Gulf of Mexico. As one police officer told me earlier, it's like you get here and all you see is water, and it's like the Gulf. There's no community here left right now because of Hurricane Barry's tropical storm winds, Category 1, bringing in all this wind and rain. And folks, it's just beginning here. As I stand here, the wind just picking up intermittently. You have sustained winds of definitely over 20 miles per hour and sometimes gusts of even more. And surveying this area, we're already seeing homes that are underwater, cars that are submerged, and just sheets of water and wind coming into this pocket, really putting people on edge. There's really no one out in this area, everyone hunkering down. So the takeaway is don't let your guard down right now. Hurricane Barry has made landfall. It's moving up into Louisiana, and the rain and wind is just begun. Robert Ray, the Weather Channel.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We've got a long way to go with this storm because it is going to be moving so slowly over the next couple of days. And in fact, a lot of wet weather, a lot of wind still on the way. This is mostly going to be a rainmaker. That's the primary impact we're concerned about. Also, storm surge flooding. We've seen that already anywhere from Lake Pontchartrain right on down into southern Louisiana. And I wanted to show you the radar picture 6 hours ago. And you can see the storm as it was near the coast there. And almost all of the weather was on the south side of the circulation. Well, watch how that has changed in the last 6 hours. What we've seen is that more of the rain is beginning to wrap up and into that center of circulation. It's starting to make its way up into Louisiana. So we're beginning to see a change, and that is that we're starting to get some heavier rainfall rates in southern Louisiana, and it's only going to be stepping up through the course of the next several hours. And then you've also got this band that's well off to the east there, and with that band, heavy rain now coming into Mississippi and into parts of Alabama. So first of all, we'll take you down into southern Louisiana, very close to Intracoastal City, which is where the storm made landfall. And you see that band right there. As that continues to push up, we're going to see very heavy rainfall rates with that and a lot of wind because that is the band that is closest to that center of circulation. Rain's not that heavy right now in New Orleans. We think that's going to change a good bit going into later tonight. New flash flood warning right now in Harrison and Jackson counties. We've had 6 inches of rain already. And then here in Baldwin, Escambia, Mobile counties, flash flood warning in effect, and a large area of 3 to 5 inches of rain there being indicated by that yellow coloring right up and into Mobile. So looking at the model forecast going forward, watch that area that is near the core of the storm. That is going to be the target area for the heaviest rain through several hours later tonight and then even into tomorrow morning as well. And then it finally starts to thin out through the middle of the day tomorrow. But because it's going to be so persistent, it is very likely that we will see flash flooding in at least parts of this area around Baton Rouge, around Lafayette, and down towards Morgan City as well. And then that flash flood threat is going to be lifting up and into the lower Mississippi Valley. So this is going to go on right through tomorrow and even into Monday as well. Let's get over to Tevin Wooten right now, and he is in Baton Rouge. And, you know, Tevin, you talked about the fact that it doesn't seem like it's that bad right now. That's part of the problem with a slow-moving storm, especially one in which it's sort of bifurcated where all the weather's on the south side. It seems as if, though, it's not going to be that bad, but we don't want people to think that. It's just that it hasn't moved in yet.
Yeah, Carl, I mean, people cannot let their guard down. I remember earlier this week, I was talking to people in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and they thought, oh, we're not in the cone. We're clear from this thing. Well, remember, just last night, it shifted back towards the west. Just like that can happen, this forecast is evolving, so don't let your guard down. But the rainfall is coming, too, later on tonight. We're showing you how much and projecting out the totals. When we return here, you're watching the Weather Channel's coverage of Tropical Storm Barry. We've got crews all across the Gulf Coast.
Want a relaxing pedicure?
Relaxing pedicure? My feet get so dry and cracked, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keeffe's for healthy feet. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked feet. Thanks to O'Keeffe's, I got my feet back.
Not running! Why am I not running? Because the DQ Summer Blizzard menu was only here for a few more weeks. With 7 great flavors, like new Sour Patch Kids and Brownie Dill.
Not running!
DQ, happy tastes good.
Today's Best Western. What does that mean?
With rewards points that never expire, you get free nights fast. Now get a $20 Best Western gift card after your first day. Book now at bestwestern.com.
How pure can pure be? Our 12-step process provides 100% pure quality water. Look for kids packs from Nestle Pure Life. Fun designs and a perfect size just for your kids.
There were ants everywhere, everywhere, thousands of them. And the problem was too big for us, but not for Orkin. And Sarah, she's organized, she's meticulous, she's like a part of the family.
And she can do backflips on the trampoline. Wow!
Life doesn't give you many second chances. But a Subaru can.
You guys okay? You all right?
Eyesight with pre-collision braking, standard on the Subaru Ascent. Presenting the 3-row Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Not even our competitor's best battery can match the power of Energizer, because Energizer Ultimate Lithium is the longest-lasting AA battery in the world. Energizer, backed by science, matched by no one.
Now you can make any morning of the week feel like the weekend with Jimmy Dean Simple Scrambles. Made fresh with 2 real eggs.
It's your home. It's your family. It's everything that matters most in your world. And Mediacom Home Controller keeps it all connected and protected. Make sure the doors are locked. Check in on the kids. Easily manage your home settings from anywhere and go to bed with greater peace of mind. Add Mediacom Home Controller for as low as $24.99 per month for 36 months. Call today for details.
Wildly adhesive seaborne seals give denture wearers 75% stronger all-day hold. No reapplying before meals. Seabond, wildly adhesive.
Try Canada Dry ginger ale and lemonade. Are you ready to taste Nirvana?
Sir, you cannot be in the fountain.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the wonderful sounds of nature. Try Canada Dry ginger ale and lemonade. Now in diet.
If you get a Dexcom, you're going to be very glad that you did.
Visit DexcomNow.com to learn more.
This is epic!
You're watching America's most trusted TV news network.
We've got a severe weather threat.
We are live on the ground. Right now, it's coming down.
The Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 89 degrees under sunny skies. This afternoon, mostly sunny. High 91. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Slight chance of a rain shower. Low 70. Winds south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 88. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, folks, Tropical Storm Barry is the name, but rain will be the name of the game for a lot of people here along places like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, along the northern Gulf Coast, and even inland too. Yes, there is an inland flood threat as well. It's not always along the immediate coastline where you see some of the strongest impacts. Different impacts for different people will bring different threats, and unfortunately, could be different disastrous situations if we're not careful. We've talked about the rain a lot. We actually have a lull in the rain right now, but I want to talk about the winds and how they may be enhanced here in downtown Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There's something called the Bernoulli effect where miles or blocks down the way, we've got winds coming in occasionally, and throughout the buildings, they sort of channel in, and with the Bernoulli effect, you don't necessarily get rid of the winds. They don't just go away. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed in science, and so they channel in, they funnel in, and when you have a smaller opening, the winds can actually be enhanced and become a bit stronger. Of course, the winds will be strong nonetheless with this tropical storm. We've seen gusts near the Louisiana LSU Stadium, at Tiger Stadium, 60 miles an hour. Here down on the ground, we picked up right around 25 to 35 mile an hour gusts. And then at the airport, at Baton Rouge's airport, those gusts today, right around 47 miles an hour. So here or there, sporadic wind gusts are a possibility. A lull in the rain for right now, but if we're looking at the radar, I'm not sure, maybe we can pull that up for you. Certainly know that more heavier rain is on the way. So the grounds are soggy and saturated right now, where they're already primed at this point. Anything else will start to create flooding issues, especially if you get a lot of rainfall in a short amount of time. Nikki, by the way, I'm not able to hear you here, so just know if we're trying to cue me, you have to cue the photographer to let me know to wrap up. But how much rainfall are we expecting in the coming days, or really hours here at this point? I would say anywhere from 8 to 12 inches. Do be prepared for that, but just know there's a possibility, especially to the west of Baton Rouge and southwest of Baton Rouge, where we could be seeing precip totals between 1 foot and 1.5 feet. Let's get inside to Carl Parker right now. He is in the studio, and Carl, you've been tracking Barry even beyond the immediate coastline where some of those impacts would be brought, but also inland too, like places like Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Missouri as well.
Yeah, that flash flood threat is going to extend well inland up into eastern Arkansas, into southeastern parts of northeastern parts of Louisiana, as well as western Mississippi, even up towards Memphis, Tennessee. And right now, a 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm moving to the northwest at 6 miles per hour. That's been the reason why we've been so concerned about the impacts from the storm, because it is such a slow-moving system. It's been a weird one all along. It made landfall already. When you look at the satellite picture, it doesn't look like that, but That's because all of the weather is on the south side of the circulation. It's been sheared. We've had stronger winds pushing all the weather down to the south relative to that center of circulation. But as the center moves on, the weather is also going to be moving on. And so we expect that it's going to be getting worse as we go through the night tonight and then into tomorrow. And you can see this big band that is wrapping in here close to what is the center of the storm. And so as that band continues to move up and into Louisiana, it's going to bring with it very heavy rain and some gusty winds. So that's going to be one of the areas that we're watching most closely through tonight, Lafayette, and then over towards Baton Rouge as well for flooding rains and also very gusty winds that continue for quite some time. Rain is not nearly as heavy in New Orleans. It's rather light right now. It looks like the bulk of the rain is going to be off to the west of New Orleans. But then we're watching a band that is now moving up into Mississippi. So there is a flash flood warning in effect in southern Mississippi. Harrison, Jackson counties, 6 inches of rain has fallen already there. Also a flash flood warning for Baldwin, Escambia, and Mobile counties. We've had a widespread area of 3 to 5 inches. You can see it is beginning to thin out right now. Let's hope that that continues. So this is our revised rainfall forecast, a little bit different as compared to what we had earlier today. We've got a sizable area of 8 to 12 inches of rain and then a very large area of 5 to 8. So in New Orleans right now, probably about 4 to 5 inches of rain is what is coming. This, though, is the target area for the very worst of the rain. Again, Lafayette and Baton Rouge, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches of rain. Rainfall rates of 2 inches per hour in some of those heavier bands as they come in here. And also a pretty good bit of wind, we think, as well. The winds have been gusting as high as 40, 50 miles per hour in some spots. Still now solidly 36 in New Orleans and 38 in Lafayette. And we want to go out to Mandeville on the north side of Lake Pontchartrain. And Dave, the wind has been piling up the water there as it comes into the lake. It's also been generating very large waves, and the result is that the lake basically expands and makes its way over ground.
Yeah, and it's still expanding. We're still seeing it encroach into this neighborhood. In fact, I'm standing on the sidewalk here that just a couple hours ago was not covered. It was, you see where this intersection is right here? That was the edge of the water. And actually, I'd say about 15 minutes ago, the water was up to there and not really on this part of the roadway. So we are having even faster encroachment of this storm surge. What we are seeing is the wind actually pushing the water onto the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. If you think of New Orleans being on the south side, we are directly across the lake from New Orleans on the north side. So this water is just pushing into these neighborhoods and having people stuck in their homes for a while. They can only get out if they want to walk around in the big waders. We're standing by for a live interview with the police chief. We will have that after this break right here as we track Barry on the Weather Channel.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you'll earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day, not just airline purchases. Think about all the double miles you could be earning.
Holy moly, that's a lot of miles!
Shh.
What's in your wallet?
We're Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh, and you may know us from your very first sandwich. Your mammoth masterpiece, and whatever this was. Because we make our meat with the good of the deli and no artificial preservatives. Make every sandwich count with Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh.
If you see traces of blood when you brush or floss, you don't have to choose between healthy gums and strong teeth. Complete Protection from Parodontax has 8 design benefits for healthy gums and strong teeth. Complete Protection from Parodontax.
Fruit Loops, a delicious part of this complete breakfast.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Home insurance trusted by more people than any other. State Farm.
So now, Dish has over 80,000 on-demand movies and shows. 80,000. Why? I mean, it would take you years to get through 80,000. Thing is, it's not about 80,000. It's about one. That one movie you saw that one time on a first date with that one girl. That's why.
Dish. Tuned in to you.
This is 30 calories. This is 30 calories. This is not going to cut it. This will. V8. The V is for vegetables. Drink some.
All right, folks, it's a Saturday, but we cannot relax this weekend. We've got Tropical Storm Barry on our hands to deal with all across places like Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, but even further inland, too, like Arkansas, into places like Tennessee, all on guard for rainfall and inland flooding. Our crews here at the Weather Channel are spanned all along the Gulf Coast and inland as well to bring you these stories, these sights, and the sounds of Tropical Storm Barry. We know this storm has already made landfall, but we still have a long way to go in terms of the impacts here. Dave Malkoff, he is standing by in Mandeville, Louisiana. I'm meteorologist Evan Wooten in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But let's get to some of this video out of Myrtle Grove, Louisiana. This is where perhaps maybe a levee has been overtopped, if you will. Let's take a look at some of this video right here. Now, we do know the governor earlier, John Bell Edwards, did say that there were some back levees that were overtopped, but none breached just yet. So perhaps this is maybe a back levee that we're referencing here. But still, this is not a sight that you want to see. This just lets you know the force of this water, the power of the water and the winds as they come slashing and crashing into the coastline there in Myrtle Grove, Louisiana. That's just south of New Orleans, Louisiana, by the way. We here are in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where we are anticipating some 8 to 12 inches of rainfall. Right behind me, about 100 yards to 150 yards, that sits the Mississippi River there. And so far, it's starting to calm down, but occasionally, as the winds pick up, we almost start to see some white capping effects, if you will, on top of the water's surface where the winds come through, picks up that water, churns it, and sloshes it around. It looks very volatile and violent. This is why, if you come across a flooded roadway or if you're thinking about going to a waterway this weekend, this is not the best weekend to do that. If